If you're flying carry-on only and you're dealing with an airline that is pretty strict on weight and sizing policies, and you're trying to figure out how to fit everything into that carry-on bag, in this video, I have found the ultimate carry-on. So here's the bag. This is the Travelpro Maxlite 5 soft-sided luggage. I have finally found the most perfect carry-on. There's literally nothing you can complain about with this bag. Actually, I dare you to find something about this bag that doesn't work for you and your travel needs. So I've actually got two versions of the exact same bag. I have the 20-inch two-wheel bag and then the 19-inch four-wheel bag. So they are the exact same bag, just different wheel configurations. But I wanted to show you each version of them because depending on what your travel needs are and where you're going and the type of traveler you are, you might want two wheels or four wheels. Also, this video is not sponsored. I bought these bags off of Amazon. I paid $136 for the four-wheeled bag and $117 for the two-wheel spinner. I've got the links below where you can buy them from either Amazon or from the Travelpro website. The very first thing I want to show you about these bags is how little they weigh. Empty, the four-wheeler weighs 5.6 pounds or 2.5 kilograms, and the two-wheel version is the same. Folks, you're not going to find a roller carry-on bag much lighter than this. The next most important thing I want to show you about this bag is the sizing. Each of these bags are going to fit in pretty much any of the overhead bins, whether you're flying within North America, Europe, Australia, or even Asia. Each bag is 21.75 inches high by 15.75 wide by 7.75 inches deep. All right, let's put them to the test and see how they actually fit in the airline sizers. We're starting with KLM, which uses these dimensions and has the same sizing as these airlines. Starting off strong with the two-wheeler, there was all kinds of room. We're good. And exactly the same with the four-wheeled bag. And I was also curious about my 21-inch Travelpro bag, which is technically 23 inches with the wheels. I guess it does. And it fit no problem. Okay, it looks like the bags were a little bit tall, so we brought the tape measure to verify. So the sizer bin is actually a little longer at 57 centimeters high, pretty accurate at 25 centimeters deep, and the railing is actually shorter than it should be because 35 centimeters is about where our bags came up to. So as you can see, with all three bags, we had plenty of room all around. All right, we are now moving on to WestJet, which has a sizer bin of 53 by 23 by 38, or the same size as these airlines. As expected, the bags each fit no problem, with the four-wheel bag having a little more room height-wise. WestJet is the smallest sizer on our list, so if your airline is at all bigger than this, it will fit no problem. This sizer is also within 2 centimeters of these airlines, so I'm quite confident these would pass, especially the four-wheeler. Okay, now we are going to test a sizer that is 15.5 by 21.5 by 9 inches, and for this we're going to use Porter Airlines, which is the same size as these airlines. Here's the two-wheeler, which has room to spare. Perfect. And the four-wheeler. All right, now we are testing the sizer for Air Canada, which has a size of 55 by 40 by 23 centimeters, as well as these airlines. This is the same sizing as the last airlines, but I wanted to show you how the bags fit in these awful cage-style sizers. Once again, they fit with ease, especially depth-wise, so you could really pack these full for this type of sizer. Okay, now we're going to test out a sizer that is 55 by 40 by 23 centimeters. So again, it's going to be the same size as the previous airlines. There we go. Perfect fit. But with so much variation between the different sizers, it's nice to test out how everything fits, just to make sure. Excellent fit. And I wanted to show my taller Travelpro in case you are flying with either Air Canada or Porter or Flair. So if you already own this Travelpro bag, or you do need a slightly bigger one than the smaller ones that I showed you, this option would also work. Okay, now we are here at the sizer for Condor Airlines. They have a limit of 55 by 40 by 20, which is also the same as these airlines. As you can tell by now, a lot of these sizers have the same dimensions or are very close, but they're all built a little different. So I wanted to show you how they all fit in the different styles.
Oh, wow.
There is tons of room here. And again, testing out my taller Travelpro. Okay, yep. Oh, that legitimately fits. And for our biggest sizer on the list, we have United Airlines with these dimensions, which is also the same as these airlines. So it was no surprise we had all kinds of room with these bags, which means the larger Travelpro also fits just right. So as a recap, either the 4-wheeler or the 2-wheeler bag is going to fit on all of these airlines that you see here. Now that we know that the bags will fit on basically any airline and that they're going to be light enough for you to pack them full, let's take a look at all the features, quality, and just overall look and feel of these bags. On the front, we've got this flat exterior pocket. It's about as deep as the palm of your hand. This is for your quick grab items, maybe headphones, phone charger, or your passport pouch or other travel documents. I call this the junk pocket. I love a good exterior junk pocket. Then it's also got the larger pocket on the exterior. In here, you could place a laptop or even a light sweater or a jacket. It's also expandable, so you do have the option to pack a little more in here. So if you're someone who likes to bring home a few souvenirs, this bag gives you that option. Travelpro has been the industry standard for flight crews for decades. Pilots and flight attendants practically live out of these bags every single day when they're working all over the world, so you know they're going to be built to last. If you do have the budget and you're looking to truly invest in some of the higher end options, I have left links to the Elite and VersaPack lines below. Now onto the wheels. Choosing whether to go with 2 or 4 wheels really depends on the type of travel you're going to be doing. On the 2-wheeled bag, these wheels are super beefy, they're smooth, and they're also inset, so they're protected. Because sometimes the trouble with 4 wheels is if you buy a cheap bag, one of those wheels is going to break off or pop off at some point. Or if you're dragging your bag through rough roads, like on cobblestone, you're going to have a bad time. Whereas 2 wheels, they're much more forgiving. And also on the front, it's got these 2 posts, so the bag can rest upright and it's not going to roll away from you. And I think you do get a little more interior space with the 2 wheels, which I'll talk about a little later on. But sometimes a 2-wheel bag isn't ideal. If you're going to be spending most of your travel in long customs lines and immigration lines at the airports, it is kind of annoying to roll your bag through those zigzag lines. It's also a little more tricky rolling it down the tight airplane aisles. Whereas with the 4-wheeled option, these wheels are ultra smooth. These bags glide like butter, and they transition very well from smoother surfaces to carpet, for example. The 4-wheel spinners are very easy to travel with through the airport, and especially when boarding the airplane because if you turn it sideways, it's ultra slim going down the aisle. But you might get slightly less interior space. Another thing you might want to consider is if you're going to be carrying a lot of other items, maybe like strollers or car seats or pet carriers, it's a lot easier for someone to roll 2 of the 4-wheeled bags with one hand through the airport versus 2-wheeled bags. All right, let's talk about the handles on this thing. First, the trolley handle. It's quite smooth. It's got 2 settings, with the tallest being 42 inches. For reference, I am 5'1", and here's the scale of where the 2 different height settings land on me, or Chris, who is 6'9", with the 2 different height settings. Then we have the top handle, which is fabric. This is great because not only is it comfortable, it can squish down easily if you're dealing with a really tight sizer bin. A lot of hardshell cases, for example, technically fit within the dimensions, but it's the hard plastic handle that puts it over the size limit. You've also got another soft handle on the side. I love the position of this one. It makes it really easy to pick up and place in the overhead bin. I think the way the 2 handles are positioned makes it very ergonomic. Lastly, it's got a pocket handle on the bottom. So for example, you would use this to pick up your bag and place it on the luggage rack in your hotel room. And of course, the name tag holder on the back. Now, opening it up, as you can see, it's top open, which I maintain, in my opinion, is the elite design for luggage. I've mentioned this in past videos, but the top opening has a much smaller footprint compared to a clamshell style bag, so it takes up much less space. Perfect if you're in a small hotel room or maybe a cruise cabin that's on the smaller side. So it opens up to 1 bin, which is quite large for these compact bags. And if you're one of those people who thinks you're going to have to rummage through the whole bag to find something, use packing cubes. It's easy to organize the types of clothing into their own cubes, so you never need to rummage through the entire bag to find one sock. And also, they're carry-on bags. You can only fit so much in these things. But I digress. As you can see, when we compare the bags side by side, there's a little more interior space in the two-wheeler. It's not a whole lot, but enough for maybe a bigger toiletry bag, or maybe an extra pair of shoes, a couple of extra articles of clothing, or maybe if your clothing is just generally on the larger side. If you have trouble with packing light, this bag is going to give you a little more space. Also on the inside, we've got a mesh interior pocket, and then we've also got the one large pocket on the top flap. In here, I would pack my hotel slippers, or you could also use this as your dirty laundry section. So just fill this up as you go, and then it keeps your dirty clothes separated. Overall, this bag checks all the boxes. You're not going to find a lighter bag that's going to fit in almost every single overhead bin at a pretty reasonable price point. As far as how much and what you can pack in these bags, stay tuned for my next video. Well, that's going to be it for this video. We've been hauling bags through the airport, getting super weird looks, so it's time for a break. See you in the next one.